If you're just now getting started with Subnautica Below Zero and wondering, where do I build my first base? Then this is the video for you. I'm going to show you not a specific set of coordinates or map location that is hard to find, but rather an area in which to build your starting base. This is just my opinion on what is the best place for your starter base, but I'm going to give you some very compelling reasons why I think this is the place for you. When you start the game, your drop pod will land in the shallow, twisty bridges biome. This location gives you access to decent starting resources, but is not basically the middle of the map like the safe shallows were in Subnautica. Of course, at the start of the game, you'll be more focused on unlocking things and gathering supplies than building a nice base, but it will not take long before you can start building a simple base. So where is this magical place that I say you should build your first base? Well, start by looking for this floating research spot in the shallow twisty bridges. If the weather's nice, swim along the surface and look for a floating piece of Altera tech. If the weather's not so nice, then you'll notice it quicker by looking for the electrical sparking from the severed power cable. Now you can always just start building right by this spot if you choose, but I say swim around the area and look for a different spot that you like. Basically though, you are now in the area to build. But why here? Well, there are some good reasons. First is of course resources. In this area, you're going to have close proximity to multiple useful biomes for resources. You have the starting biome, the shallow twisty bridges, where you'll have the standard early game resources. You are in shallow water depths and there are flat icebergs in this area, so you have a better setup for solar power. Then, in this area, you're at the edge or inside the Twisty Bridges main area, which means you have access to table coral samples and lead. Then just a deep dive and you've got access to the deep Twisty Bridges, which means magnetite, diamond, and lithium. Just a short distance away, you have also the Arctic kelp forest, which means access to creepvine. It also means there are caves that have sea monkey nests, which are useful for fragment scans. And as I said in a previous video, once you reach a point only a short way into the story, sea monkeys will become friends and start bringing you gifts, which you can use to get other useful materials from them in this area. Then you have the thermal spires, which, despite the name, are not hot enough on their own for really generating good thermal power. However, there are lava geysers in this area, but for thermal power, you'll probably need to use some power transmitters. You will also find more diamond, gold, silver, lead, and lithium through this area. Then just to the side of this, you have the purple vents, which gives you access to a lot of lithium, but also crystalline sulfur. This is also where you'll find the first section of ship wreckage, as well as a tunnel leading down into the lowest biome areas. Finally, you are right next to the Delta Island, what used to be called the Rocket Island. You'll of course find the Altera scans for unlocks here, and there'll be more crystalline sulfur in some of the caves. For me, the best resource in this area, however, is the horseshoe shrub, which gives you access to shrub nuts. The shrub nuts are useful for food and water, but more useful for the fact that they give you 10 points of health for each one you eat. This will reduce your reliance on finding or making medical kits in the early stage of the game. In addition to the resources though, this area puts you in close proximity to several useful story locations. This means less travel time for part of the early game, and this is going to be really beneficial before you have the battery charger or moon pool as part of your base. And finally, while I did already mention resources and blueprints in that, there are some notable fragments here that you're going to find. In this area, you'll find the scans for the mobile vehicle bay, which will be useful once you start then getting the scans in this area for the sea truck cabin, sea truck fabricator module, and sea truck storage module. So in this area, you'll be finding the scans to unlock and start making the sea truck, along with the resources needed to build the sea truck and those modules. So besides making a starter base in this area, you're now going to be able to start working on your mobile mini base as well. Again, this is just my opinion on where to build your starter base based on my time in the game during early access. However, I think I've given you some good, compelling reasons why you should do this. Of course, this is meant for the beginner player, so if you've already been playing Below Zero, go build wherever you want. Or if you just want to ignore the whole simple starting base type of thing for your first playthrough, it's your game, it's your game time, go build wherever you want, just have fun with it. If you enjoyed the video, if you got something out of this, of course, hit that like button and make sure to check out my other Below Zero content.